I was gonna say not that you love that I just slop lotion all over you. I just like touching your body, but it's also great that I'm putting something on that's gonna make your tattoos last.
Yeah, for sure. You put some on my penis. I had to throw that in. You guys can cut that. I had to throw it in.
Feels great.
Okay, so growing up in Alaska, that's like our second home. I remember like right when I was going off to college, my mom was like, all right, Austin, remember, Alaska is different than the lower 48, and so you can't just like pee anywhere you want. And literally the first like semester, whatever, I'm in school, I get caught by the cops peeing on a sidewalk.
Outside. Every time we go back to Alaska, you guys get drunk and you just walk out the front door and you just pee to all the neighbors. Yeah. Alaska Austin is carefree. Alaska Austin wakes up 8 a.m., shot of whiskey, like pouring alcohol in hot chocolate, alcohol in coffee. Alaska Austin is so much more fun than Florida Austin.
Yeah.
First, we'll set the precedence. Florida Austin. Extremely driven, dedicated, will not miss a single practice. Even if the coaches say you're overtrained, you won't show up to practice, but you'll just work out at home.
Yeah.
Even when they tell you you're supposed to be resting.
Yeah.
Florida Austin eats very clean, no cheat days, no drinking for 3 or 4 months before fights. Like the most high level, dedicated athlete, epic willpower.
Once you told your mom that you were dating me and all this.
This is the problem.
Yeah.
This is the problem when they met you the first time, was we met, started seeing each other. 2 weeks later, you moved in with me. I had just moved to Oregon, living by myself. I just bought my first house. And all of a sudden, I'm like, hey, Mom, that guy I thought was cute, he lives with me now.
But don't worry, he
so
doesn't have a neck
don't
tattoo.
worry, he doesn't have a neck tattoo. When I first met you, you had basically one sleeve.
One of the like first ones I got, it says Raiders on the Storm. It's kind of reference to an old Doors song, Riders on the Storm, which is what we would listen to like when we were getting ready to go out for our wrestling matches when I was in college. And the year I won nationals, I got the script tattooed on me.
Oh, and you had a little V Ford on your back from your very first tattoo your dad took you when you were 14.
I've always loved tattoos. My dad's got a ton. My mom has some. Like my whole family has them. So it was inevitable.
Yeah, my parents are very old-fashioned. So neither of them have tattoos. It's not the culture they grew up in. My first tattoo is this big, and it's a little heart I got on my hip right when I turned 18. Me and my best friend had been waiting forever to go get like little tattoos, and we got little matching hearts. Maybe like a week later, my dad saw it and he was like, that better not be a tattoo. And I was like, no, we were at the fair. It's a henna tattoo. So they were very happy when they first met you.
Yeah.
And then I morphed you into my perfect little image.
Oh boy, yeah.
When I now look back at pictures where you don't have it, you look naked.
Yeah.
Like your face just isn't as cute.
Out on the real world, I don't really want to hurt people. But when I like get locked in the cage, I want to fucking kill somebody, like rip their head off. And in the real world, it's like, if I cut somebody off in traffic, I have remorse and I feel bad, you know?
When you're fighting, you're doing something you love, like I'm willing to die that day.
Yeah.
Just to go out there and do what I love. It doesn't matter what happens, I'm willing to die. Dying doesn't scare me, or breaking my face, it doesn't scare me.
Yeah.
Failure definitely scares me, so I think it's those nerves. But when you fight, it's completely different.
I feel the same. Yeah.
It's holy shit, I can't go out there and protect you. There's nothing I can do when the cage door locks. As you're in there by yourself, you just have to pray for the best.
When you just did the wrestling, like, I remember being kind of nervous in the back, like thinking like, fuck, okay, she's going out to do this. There's 20,000 people here, this is crazy. But it's just not the same as fighting. It's like, when we're gonna go fight, it's like tunnel vision and you're like numb to everything.
Numb to everything, nothing else matters.
And although I was like nervous, it wasn't like that. Honestly, when you made your bare knuckle debut, you fought someone who's really tough, like someone who's fighting for the belt for bare knuckle at your weight class right now. You know, I know you didn't get the result you wanted, but I remember just like crying to myself with just like, you know, being so proud of you and how truly tough you really were. Cause, you know, after the fight, your hands were size of balloons, and hearing the like crack of you know, knuckle on skin like that. It was crazy. And I was just like, damn, my wife's a fucking badass. Like, I mean, it makes me want to cry right now just thinking about the moment.
Way more nervous for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, of course, there's the nerves, like, for me to go out and perform. I feel like I know how tough I am. My family knows how tough I am. My coaches know that I'm tough, but I just want to prove to the world that I am.
Yeah.
And that's why I went to bare knuckle boxing, is I wanted to show everybody how tough I am. I wanted to do something that everyone said I couldn't do. I never wanted to fight. It just kind of happened. Of course, I want to now, and I'm in love with it, and it's my passion. But my dad was actually the first one to have me go try an MMA class, and it was with Ken Shamrock at the Lion's Den. I didn't have a training partner, so my dad took the class with me, and I got to put him in a heel hook, which is like Ken Shamrock was a leg locker. So like put these leg locks on my dad and make him tap out, and then like a week later, he had me sparring, and it made this girl's nose bleed all over, and I was just instantly hooked. I don't know what Ken saw in me. Obviously, I had like smiled way too much when I was getting punched in the face. I was just having a great time, and I think that he saw that charisma. Ken was very intelligent. He was a pro wrestler and a professional fighter, so I think he just kind of saw that I had like a charisma and intelligence and a passion for fighting. I specifically remember him talking to me and my dad saying, "You're gonna be special, you need to stick with this," and I did. Ended up not going to school anymore, focusing all my attention on fighting.
The dream is always to like make a lot of money and stuff, but I've always just been so passionate about fighting, and to a fault a lot of times. Like you get on me like, you need to know your value, you need to, and I'm like, but I'm just fighting because I love to fight.
When you tell promotions, I'll fight for free, I'm like, oh, hold up, no, no, you won't.
Had 1 or 2 pro fights, and I was still on the like local circuit. People didn't really want to fight me because I was only like 1-0 or 2-0, and so it was like, fuck, I can't really get a fight.
I feel like I can see when somebody has something special too, and I knew you were gonna be special. It's just in this industry, one, it takes a lot of skill, but it also takes luck and opportunity. I knew that I had the opportunity to help guide you. Even
just like little things, watching you do interviews and the little nuances in fighting that sometimes people forget about, stuff you were really good at.
It did bother me at first, knowing how many people don't like me. It doesn't matter if I win or I lose, people are gonna talk shit about me. I think it's just because I've done something that a lot of people can't do.
It's such a fickle fan base, and you know, people love you one minute and they hate you the next. But I think we do a good job at just ignoring.
Yeah, I think we do a good job in ignoring it. But I know that me and you wake up every day trying to make the world a better place. And we go out of our way to help people and do things for the people we love and make sure their success coincides with ours, and we try to build people up as much as we can. I have so many funny things I could share about you. No matter what country we travel to, or your friends who come in the gym that are from foreign countries, you adopt their accent. So you come home, if you're hanging out with Yaroslav, you'll come home and all of a sudden you have a Ukrainian accent. Or with Owen, he's Canadian, all of a sudden for a week straight you're saying A. When we came home from Ireland, you're Irish for a week straight.
Okay, I got another really funny like travel one too.
Okay.
We have made love in every state and every country we have traveled to.
I don't know what that has to do with accents.
Do you have any secret tattoos that no one can see?
No.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
She's got her lip tattooed. Which
that
I
wasn't
think
my
is so
first,
cool.
that's later.
Okay,
We're not there yet.
Okay.
Of course, my family not being very tattoo positive, they definitely weren't celebratory towards tattoos. I kept finding like these little tiny hidden places to get them. So I was 18 still, living in Vegas by myself, and I saw a sign that said $15 tattoos. So I went in and I got the little Christian fish symbol on my ribs, and a guy was getting his eyeball tattooed while I was there. Remember that? That was crazy. Also in Vegas, I went to someone's house and they tattooed inside my lip.
Crazy.
And it's a rose. It doesn't really look like a rose anymore. But
and it was supposed to fade.
19, and the only reason I got it in my lip is because they're like, yeah, lip tattoos fade. It'll be gone in like 6 months. That was 10 years ago, and you still see the color.
It's still like exactly.
It didn't go away at all.
I forget about that one so much. Like
I forget until I go to the dentist, and they're like, what is in your mouth? And we snuck out of our Airbnb, and we were in LA, you were drunk.
I was hammered.
I was not.
Yeah.
And I convinced you to get matching tattoos with me. I got the Queen of Hearts and you got the King on the front of your stomach.
Yeah.
So that was my way of being like, oh yeah, he can never leave me now.
And I was thinking the same thing too. I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna get matching tattoos. She's stuck with me.
We're stuck, yeah.
It's so funny. The vast majority of my tattoos were like once we were together and stuff. And it kind of became a tradition for me, like after each fight, I'd get a tattoo.
You wanted a tattoo on the back of your neck, and I think that might be my favorite. That's something that I've contemplated getting on the back of my neck too.
Yeah.
Some we would have like matching ones.
Yeah.
A lot of yours are random though. A few have meaning, but then a few of them are just like you felt like getting a tattoo and you text him and hey, I want this, and you go in and you get it done.
2 weeks ago, we were talking about doing my whole head, like crazy shit. I remember a lot of my tattoos from like fights and stuff, like the headdress and the skull on my shin. It was right after the Contender Series fight. I went and I sat for like 11 hours getting tattooed.
But there's more to that story. You fought on the Contender Series.
Yeah.
The next day, I had to have my second surgery on my forearm.
That's right.
So we knew I would be tied up in the hotel room recovering from surgery.
Yeah.
So you randomly walked into a tattoo shop in Vegas.
Yeah.
But the lady had a live feed and I could watch you get tattooed.
Yeah. The one that I'd say like I'm most known for, whether it's good or bad, is the eyeball on my throat. I actually even got it made into a chain by Zoe Frost, like really cool. This one was crazy when we decided to go in and do this.
We didn't decide to do this, but you decided to do it. I was supporting you, and I showed up when the tattoo artist had drawn a green eyeball.
Yeah.
And my eyes are green. That's when I was like, okay, get it.
It's kind of cool,
I wanted people to think it's my eye on your throat.
Yeah. But a lot of people always ask, like, what is it? It's supposed to be like the eye of the storm. And, you know, people say like the center of the storm is where like it's calm and all that, and everything on the outside is crazy. I love it. It's 4 years old or something. The color in it is insane, and it's really stuck and stuff. So that's like my favorite one for sure.
You still haven't gotten your wedding ring tattooed, but we're getting there.
I've got references of you on quite a few of mine.
I just want my signature on your forehead.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But you also have a reference of me.
I do.
You.
Recently, I got your initials tattooed on my butt.
Yeah.
And I surprised you and didn't until I came home with that.
Yeah, which I love.
I picked up tattoos later in life. During my career and the come up, I think it was important for me to feel like I was marketable to any company that came my way. Coming off of Dancing with the Stars, there wasn't an interview I ever said no to, a sponsorship I ever said no to. I was always promoting brands and trying to build my brand and make as much money as possible when I was young.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to be as professional as possible. And I knew that I didn't want to like eliminate successful opportunities from my life. I got to this point of success. I didn't really need to make anybody else happy. It was whatever I wanted. So the last like 2 years, I've gotten like 7 or 8 now, little tiny ones.
Yeah.
And I think I'm gonna continue to add little tattoos here and there. And yeah, now I have that I don't give a fuck attitude. I'm gonna make myself happy, and in turn it puts my best self out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. My most recent one was my hands. It says heart of a warrior, soul of a lion. I felt like it fits who I am as a fighter, and almost to a fault, I just have a little bit too much pride in fights where I'll put myself in bad situations just for the sake of fighting. I feel like no matter what anybody says, you can't take that away from me. I got a cross in red on the back of my neck. In the Bible, the words that Jesus spoke himself are written in red. So I've got a red cross on the back of my neck. There's a few that have a very significant meaning. This one actually I got on my wrist when we first got together.
Yeah.
Your tattoo artist did it. It's a semicolon, but it has like a shooting star and a sun. The semicolon is supposed to symbolize like it's where an author puts it in a sentence where the story is not over. The author could have ended this story, but didn't. All of my tattoos, most of mine have very significant meaning, so I would like for them to stay.
You're like, hey, you should really like start taking care of your tattoos, because most of mine are like so colorful and vibrant, and that's something like that we definitely want to keep. For
as much money as you spend on tattoos, obviously I want you to take care of them and make sure they last as long as possible.
Actually, you're the one who introduced me to the Mad Rabbit products. I think one of my favorite products is the soothing gel, and I get home, wash it with soap and water, and then put the soothing gel on. It actually feels good too, and the tattoo heals through the gel versus like with Aquaphor, the tattoo's healing like underneath the product.
And I think it's important for us to get them to heal as fast as possible, because we want to get back to training. And obviously being in like this training environment, it's not the cleanest. You don't want to get infections. So healing it as fast as possible so we can get back to our lives.
I think the balm gets cool to like put it on before we go out and really make my tattoos like stand out, because it's my persona and it's who I am, and I like to make them look good.
And I think it pays homage to the people who did them, the artists.
For sure.
And it shows off their work and they can see how good it is. And obviously you've been able to make them last now because of it.